Hello everyone, welcome to my channel Tranquility Through Life's Natural Beauty, and today is Tuesday and Tuesday tea break. That's what we do on Tuesday, and that can involve tours or just chat or more, so anything and everything. And today, not quite a tour today. This is more showing you, it's something that I actually showed on my main channel, and I'll just run that below in case you haven't seen my main channel. It's New Beginnings, My Everyday Life in Rural Cyprus, and that's the channel that I do a lot of my gardening and stuff like that on more. So have a look at that. And it's a video released there quite some time ago, and it's another area of my garden, hence the part tour, and it's particularly showing you my project tomato, I like to call it. Now, if you do gardening and you stake things such as tomatoes, but many other things, you'll know you have to make either arches or stakes, and it's a continual job to keep tying things up. So even if you've got arch, you've got to tie it up as something grows. Well, I will show you the video, and this is my method that you make a one-time matrix, and you don't need to tie the tomato plants, for example, up to this method. It will naturally wrap itself round. So unlike an arch where it might hang down the plant and you've got to tie it up, this will naturally grow up the matrix. So I'm just going to show that to you, and that will be self-explanatory a little more. It's a very frugal way to save time. Once you've built this, you don't need to replace it. So these are in my hugelkultur area, but you could of course do it in raised beds or just on the ground if you grow directly in the ground. So without further ado, I'll show you the clip and then we'll talk about it after if anyone's got any questions. So here we go. If, like me, you're not able to stake all over the place due to hard ground, or like me, I live on the side of a mountain, how can you stake so many crops? Well, here's my idea for minimal staking. As you see at the front here, I have a tomato area, and I've just got 4 metal stakes, one in each corner. Of course, if you have a bigger area, you might need some middle stakes. And then you want to tie string or twine, whatever you've got, and you want to go all round the perimeter of these. Now, it's best to actually start with one at the bottom first, but this was for quickness for filming and to save me bending down to show you going round the bottom, which was quite a chore for me. So you want to go round the bottom first, as I'm showing you. Remember, under and over, which stops them sliding up and down the twine. So you go all round the bottom first, and then all round the top, as I'm doing now. And that is step 1, going round the perimeter, round the bottom first, and then round the top. Here you can see I'm now going round the bottom, and you'll see why that's more difficult to do after you've got the top one done. So start with this bottom layer first. The next thing you want to do is go across, joining the 2 sides. Now, I find again it would have been better to have gone across the bottom first of all, joining it up. As I say, I wasn't sure I could do it all in one go, and I wanted to film it for you to show you what to do. But go across the bottom first, and also this demonstration one I did across the bottom the same direction as going across the top, but it's actually better. My very first one I did prior to filming, I actually went a different direction across the bottom to the top, making what I like to call a matrix. But it really doesn't matter. I just think you need less tying up in direction if you go two opposite way, unless you've got a very formal straight line rows of crops. Of course, this method can be used for many things, not just tomatoes. The twine I'm using was actually given to me for free, and it's from the stables where Mike goes and helps at, and it's what they use to tie up the hay bales, and they don't want it. That's why it's all in the tangle, as you can see. They just cut off from the straw or hay bales and disregard it. So this is an option for you if you live near a farm or know anyone who buys hay or straw in big quantities, maybe for animal bedding or animal feed. Ask them if you can have the twine. Tying all these knots was very good physiotherapy for me, for my hand problems. It did hurt a lot the next day, but it was very good therapy. And anyone who has trouble with fine motor skills, doing any small fine movements, fine motor skills is very good practice. And of course, I smelt of tomatoes for some time later. A good idea to get the smell of tomatoes off your hand is to rub salt and lemon juice on your hands, and that is my tip for removing the smell of tomatoes or tomato plants. And if you haven't already met Kit, this is Kit, and Kit loves to help, whether it be sitting on my shoes while I'm trying to do gardening or just being there to support me as always. And Kit loves to see what's going on and loves to be right by me all the time. So here is the last part of this method. You tie vertical strings wherever there's a tomato plant from the bottom lines up to the top lines, and then tie your tomato to it. So the vertical lines are what acts as the stakes. If you're in a windy area, I find this is much better than staking. You haven't got to worry if your stakes are going to be blown over or fall over and destroy your crops. So you don't need to tie them too tight, but tie them vertically wherever there's a tomato plant. Tie vertical string with that and then up to the top. So use the strings you've already put to tie on a vertical string exactly where tomato plant is, tie it up to the top and then tie your tomato onto that string. When editing, there was a lot of footage now of me trying to find the scissors. I gave up and went and got another pair and made sure I taped them with hologram tape in case I lost those too. And here's the hologram tape. I normally paint all my tools in the garden with fluorescent paint, so all the handles as much as possible, or use fluorescent tape. So another good tip for you. So here's me tying up the vertical strings from the bottom to the top where there's tomatoes. And of course, as your tomatoes grow and get taller, continue as you normally would up a stake, tying with further twine up the vertical tape. So here's the finished product. As I say, this is the one where I've got the bottom lines the opposite way to the top lines. For me, this was better. If you have really good rows, then obviously you could put both lines, the tops and the bottom lines, the same direction. But mine are a little bit more random. So for me, doing the bottom lines across one way and the top lines across the other way seemed to work better in that respect. So I hope this was helpful to you. I've seen stringing before, but I haven't seen a full matrix grid like this for tomatoes. If you do it this way, let me know in the comments below, and I hope this is helpful to those of you who don't want to be doing stakes, particularly if you grow as much as I do. We do have our own bamboo plants, our bamboo trees on the land, so I wasn't buying stakes, but now we can use all that bamboo for other projects or areas where I've just got a few tomatoes or other crops, or indeed where I grow my tomatoes in cat food bags. They can still have a stake pushed into them. And I'm also using my bamboos to also stake my cucumbers. But this was good for this area and will remain a permanent construction. Of course, the twine may need replacing further on down the line as it weathers. So let me know in the comments below what you think, if this was a great tip or great help for you. Let me know in the comments below. Don't forget to subscribe up and do share with your friends. It may be of help. Until next time, Merathi. So I hope that was useful to you. As with anything, basically, when you see someone do something, always adapt ideas to suit yourself and your purposes. Now, in there, I talked about as your tomatoes grow up, you can tie them to each of the vertical strips. That's what I did at that point. But as I said, when I spoke to you before the film, what I actually do now, I don't even tie them. I find if you start curling the tomato plant round when it first reaches that bottom grid, start twisting it round a vertical piece of the twine, and it will just grab onto it and carry on growing upwards straight. So it actually protects them not only from wind like you would staking or the matrix, but it also protects them because they are much more hardy, winding themselves round. And yes, tomatoes will grab them, go round like that, and that protects them because it makes the whole stem stronger. So the vertical bits of string or twine, whatever you want to use, that is forming a nice strength for the tomatoes, or as I say, anything you can grow like that. You could grow cucumbers like that, or many other things. So you can do that. If you want to grow melons like that, again, let those grow up the vertical piece, and then you can actually peg on some form of netting or net bags, or some people use ladies' tights and cut the legs off those to put the melons or watermelons in as they grow, peg them onto the matrix at the top, and they won't break off or fall off. So there's an idea for you. Hey Shirley, we're very supportive of each channel right now. So I'd like to say, as always, Glitter World's in the house. Do go on, check out Glitter World, have a look. She mostly does lives. Have a look at her lives, and don't forget to subscribe to her channel. So that's something there. So that's all my tomatoes, how I grow tomatoes, and I do think that's a pretty awesome method. So do try it out if you grow anything. As you can see there, you don't need much space at all. So if you've just got a small garden, you could do that with all your crops. So do have a go and let me know how you get on with that. And then some people always say, what else do you grow? Because I often show like that, just one thing. So here is a little update of things that I grow. There's many more things besides. I have got a video on my other channel where I went around counting all my fruit trees, all the different types. So for example, I said pomegranates, and then I went filming around my garden. You can see it speeded up, and the reason I did speeding up where I was walking around my garden to count them all was because it gave you a bit of a idea of the garden. So those of you not sure like where my garden is and what's where, that's why I left the filming on time lapse, moving from tree to tree. So I counted each pomegranate, showed you where it was, the date palms, mangoes, and so on and so forth. So I went around doing that. So if you're interested in that, if you ever want a URL for anything I mentioned, do ask. It's very easy for me to find the URLs. I just have a Word doc and I can look up which video is where. So if you want any info, do ask. Let's move on now, and I've got new quotes for you for Quote Corner. So let's look at the new quote for Tuesday in Quote Corner. a reminder of the times of my lives, what days, what subjects on this channel. And if you're new to my other channel, New Beginnings, My Everyday Life in Rural Cyprus, here's the days, times and subject content for those lives. On that channel, I'm posting tomorrow a 3K giveaway. It's very easy to enter, so do look out tomorrow on my other channel for a video where I'm doing a 3K giveaway. Wow, that's something. So it's very unique, and I know so many of you will love what the special prize is going to be. There's going to be 3 prizes because it's 3K. They're all going to be exactly the same prize, but look out for the video and it will tell you all about that. And do go and watch Glitter World. She's just telling me she's doing some painting at the moment, and she's doing a landscape of Newfoundland. That would be awesome. I can't wait to see that. That would be lovely. And she does sell her pictures. Every now and then she does an auction on her channel where you can buy her paintings. So if you want more information on that, do go to Glitter World's channel and you can ask all the information when her next auction will be. So do support my friends as much as they support me. So yes, so tomorrow is on the other channel a video for 3K giveaway. This channel has just over 1K, but I can't monetize this channel yet because I don't have anywhere close enough to the watch hours. So if you can help me by sending people to this channel, I would really appreciate that. So thank you very much. And I'm going to finish there for today. I will see you tomorrow on my other channel where I have a live tomorrow, and I'm also posting on this channel tomorrow as well, so look out for that video. Until then, thank you so much for all your support in all respects. See you soon.